Welcome in, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T.Harv Eker.
Oh, yeah. I love this one.
It's a classic, right? I mean, so many people have read it or at least heard of it.
Yeah.
But we're going at it from a slightly different angle, I think, this time.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got this podcast episode that really digs into the book and kind of gives us a different perspective on it.
Yeah, that's interesting because everyone brings their own interpretation.
Exactly. And you know what's cool about this one?
What?
The guy who's kind of leading this discussion actually had a really tough time financially himself before he really got into this whole mindset thing.
So Eker himself.
Yeah, Eker himself. Yeah, he wasn't always rolling in dough.
So that kind of gives it more weight.
Exactly. It makes you think, okay, maybe there's something to this.
Yeah. It's not just some rich guy
Exactly.
preaching from on high.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things he talks about a lot is this idea of a financial blueprint.
Right. The blueprint.
What is that all about?
So imagine this set of beliefs you have about money.
Okay.
Almost like this internal program running in the background, shaping your decisions.
And that's formed how?
It's kind of like how you were raised, things you heard growing up, even just the attitudes about money you saw around you.
So if your parents were always stressed about money.
Exactly. Or if you constantly heard things like,
money doesn't grow on trees.
yeah, that could become part of your blueprint, even if you're not consciously aware of it.
That's kind of scary, right? What if our blueprint is actually holding us back?
That's the thing. Those beliefs can be so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
They can affect how we earn, how we spend, even how we feel about money.
I guess it would make sense,
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Right. If you believe, you'll never be rich.
Yeah, you might not even try.
Exactly. So Eker's saying we can change this.
That's where his work gets really powerful. He doesn't just point out the problem.
Okay.
He gives us a way to actually rewire that blueprint.
Okay, I'm liking this.
And one of the big ideas there is this shift from what he calls a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset.
Okay, I've heard those terms before, but honestly, not always sure what they really mean.
So think of a scarcity mindset as this constant feeling of not enough.
There's never enough money.
Exactly. Always worried about losing what you have.
Afraid to take risks.
But an abundance mindset is about believing there's plenty to go around.
So it's not just about how much money you actually have.
It's more like a feeling of possibility.
Like an attitude.
Yeah, opportunities are always available.
I like that.
And this ties into his famous 17 wealth files.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about these.
Basically lays out how wealthy people think differently.
Give us some examples. I'm dying to know.
Okay, so one big one is this. Rich people believe I create my life, while those with a scarcity mindset believe life happens to me.
Oh, wow. So it's about taking control.
Versus feeling like a victim.
Yep.
Another one is this. Rich people play to win, while those with a scarcity mindset play not to lose.
So it's not just about working hard.
Right. It's about what you're aiming for.
Are you going for big wins or just trying to avoid failure?
Now, the thing is, Eker doesn't just point these differences out.
Okay, good, because...
He actually provides strategies for shifting our thinking.
Oh, so it's actionable advice.
Exactly. He wants to help us align with those wealthy mindsets.
I like that.
And one tool he offers is the 6-jar system for managing money.
6 jars, huh? Okay, we'll have to dig into that.
Yeah, it's a simple way to take control of your finances no matter how much you're making.
Okay, so I'm already getting a lot to think about here. We've got this financial blueprint that we can actually rewire this whole shift from scarcity to abundance, and these wealth files that sound like a millionaire's playbook. I'm hooked, I have to say. But what are you listening out there? What's standing out to you so far? What's making you think, maybe I need to look at this a little differently?
Yeah, good question. We'll be right back to unpack these wealth files and talk about how to put them into action.
Stay tuned. All right, we are back and ready to decode some more of these wealth files.
Yeah, let's dive in.
So what else sets apart, how wealthy people think about money?
Okay, well, remember we talked about I create my life versus life happens to me.
Yeah, that was a big one.
It really gets at this idea of responsibility.
Okay, so someone with that creator mindset, they take charge.
Exactly. They see setbacks as temporary, like a learning opportunity.
And someone with that scarcity mindset, they might feel stuck.
Yeah, like they're just a victim of their circumstances.
Which is so disempowering.
Totally. And it can really hold people back.
Oh, for sure. So what's another one of these wealth files that stands out?
Okay, this one's interesting. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value without shame,
Okay.
But those with a scarcity mindset, they often feel uncomfortable doing that.
Oh, yeah. I know so many people like that.
It's so
They're super talented,
Yeah,
but they just can't seem to talk about it.
exactly. And that can really hurt them financially.
Like when you're negotiating a salary or asking for a raise.
Or even just putting yourself out there for new opportunities.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable promoting yourself, you're probably missing out.
Big time. So it's not about being arrogant or anything.
Right. It's about knowing your worth.
And being able to communicate that effectively.
Okay, that makes sense.
Eh.
What else you got?
Okay, let's talk about learning. Eker says, rich people learn and grow constantly,
Mm-hmm.
but those with a scarcity mindset often think they already know it all.
Oh, I've definitely met some people like that.
We all have,
And it's like their mind is closed off to new ideas.
which can really limit their growth.
Yeah, but wealthy people, they're always trying to learn new things,
They see it as an investment.
investing in themselves.
Exactly.
That's like that saying, the more you learn, the more you earn.
I love that one. And it all comes back to Eker's main point. Wealth starts in the mind.
About how we think.
Yeah. So the more we develop that growth mindset.
The more we can actually create abundance.
Exactly. Now, speaking of practical strategies,
Okay, yeah, let's get into that.
remember that 6-jar system we mentioned?
Yeah, I'm ready to hear all about these 6 jars.
Okay, so imagine you have 6 jars, right?
Mhm.
Each one representing a different part of your finances.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
So there's the necessities jar.
Like the essentials.
Yeah, housing, food, transportation, all that.
Got it.
Then there's the financial freedom account.
This is for like long-term savings.
Exactly. It's about building wealth that can eventually work for you.
Okay, I like that.
Even small amounts add up over time.
Makes sense. So what's next?
We've got the education jar.
Oh, for personal growth and learning new skills.
Eker's a big believer in continuous learning.
That's awesome. Then what?
The long-term spending for needs jar.
So like saving for a car or a down payment on a house?
Right, so you're prepared for those bigger expenses.
Smart. Okay, what else?
Now this is everyone's favorite, the play jar.
Oh, yeah, for fun stuff.
Guilt-free enjoyment.
We all need that.
Eker says it's crucial. And finally, we have the give jar.
For charity or helping others.
It's about acknowledging our abundance.
And giving back to the world.
Now, the key here is to allocate a certain percentage of your income to each jar.
So it's not just randomly throwing money around.
It's about creating a system.
Okay, a structure.
Maker gives some starting percentages, but you can tweak them.
To fit your own situation.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so powerful.
It's adaptable.
Simple but effective.
So we're starting to see the bigger picture here, right?
Yeah, we're getting there.
We've got the wealth files to help us shift those beliefs, the 6-jar system for managing our money, and this whole shift from scarcity to abundance,
It's about taking control of our finances.
starting with our thoughts.
I think that's a great takeaway.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I don't want to give away all the secrets just yet, but what's one thing you think our listeners should really remember from all of this so far?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is that our relationship with money, it's way more about our mindset than our circumstances.
Ooh, that's good.
If we can start to reprogram those beliefs,
Yeah,
it opens up so many possibilities.
I love that. It's about taking charge of our financial destinies, starting with our thoughts. We'll be right back to wrap up this deep dive into Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Stay with us. And we are back for the final part of our deep dive.
You know, we've been talking about all these beliefs we have about money.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think, like, how much of that stuff we don't even realize is running in the background.
It's like we're on autopilot sometimes.
Totally. So what can we actually do to start changing those beliefs?
Well, Eker talks a lot about affirmations.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
It's about consciously choosing to replace those negative thoughts with positive ones.
So, like, instead of thinking, I'll never be able to afford that?
You start saying, I'm attracting abundance into my life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does that really work? It might feel weird at first, but the more you repeat those affirmations, the more you start to believe them.
It's like you're training your brain.
Exactly. You're rewiring those neural pathways.
Okay, I can see that Eker also talks about surrounding yourself with successful people.
Right. Remember that wealth file about admiring versus resenting?
Yeah, totally.
It's like when you're around people who are already living the life you want,
It changes your perspective.
it expands your beliefs about what's possible.
Yeah, like you start to see it as attainable.
Exactly. But it's not just about hanging out with millionaires.
Right, you have to actually learn from them.
Find mentors, read books, attend seminars, anything that exposes you to those wealthy mindsets.
So it's like becoming a student of wealth.
Absolutely. Always be learning and growing.
Now, I know we talked about the 6 jars, but
Hmm.
Are there any other practical tips that Eker gives?
Oh, yeah, tons. One that I find super helpful is tracking your expenses.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that.
It sounds simple, but so many people have no clue where their money is going.
I'm
Wow.
definitely guilty of that.
Eker says to track every dollar for at least a month.
It's eye-opening, right?
Totally. You start to see those patterns you might not have noticed before.
And then you can make changes.
Exactly. You become more mindful of your spending.
It's all about taking control.
Another great tip is to automate your savings.
Oh, yeah. Set it and forget it.
Exactly. Have money automatically transferred to your savings or investment accounts.
That takes the willpower out of it,
It makes saving a habit.
which is what it's all about, right?
Eker emphasizes that building wealth, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's about consistency,
Yeah, those long-term habits.
managing your money well,
Mhm.
investing wisely, and always keep learning.
Exactly.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive into secrets of the millionaire mind,
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
from the power of our financial blueprint to those practical tools like the 6 jars.
And of course, that all-important shift from scarcity to abundance,
It's about taking charge of our financial lives.
starting with our minds.
And if you're ready to explore even more, I highly recommend checking out the book for yourself.
There's so much valuable wisdom in there.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you all today.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.
And those wallets ready for abundance.